What's up, PJ Sin Suela? ¿Cómo estás, man? How
Yeah,
are you, brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm good here in Puerto Rico. Just got back from LA
I
literally
know.
yesterday. Yeah, I had a show in LA, so
I'm sorry I missed that show, brother. I was booked. I tried to go out there, but you were at the Moroccan Lounge, right?
yeah, it was, man, great venue. It's cozy, but people were super excited. The light show is amazing. So I'm excited. I'm touring with my new album called Toda, Época, Tiene, Encanto,
Yes,
which
sir.
means every season has its diantre, like it's
It's
beauty
beauty.
angle from it. It's beauty, and it's a love album, but it touches all types of love, from self love to love for the nation, to being like puppy love,
Yeah,
to going out and drinking because you just uh, got dumped. So a little
dude.
bit of everything.
I felt your album, brother. I did, man.
Thank you, thank you.
I listened to it from beginning to end. It's like, to me, it seems, I don't know if I want to describe it right, but like a concept album, right?
Yeah, it's a whole story from beginning to end.
Yeah, because I'm going through some shit too. So it hit me. It hit me when I was listening. I heard this one of the lyrics was Conexión Fatal, and I was like, that's my life right now.
Mhm.
But what inspired that, man? You going through something right now, or is this just to represent the
I am
relationship
going
you're
through,
in?
so I'm actually happy in love. It's like I've been
Congrats.
4 years with the same person, but the producer was actually getting divorced while we were doing it. So I
No.
was like starting kind of in a relationship, and then he was passing through stuff. And we did this. I have a studio walking from the beach here in Puerto Rico, and we used to go every day just to talk about our lives and start writing music. He produced, I wrote the lyrics, and suddenly I had made like 20 songs, and out of the 20 songs, 15 were talking about some type of love. So I started studying all the types of love, and when I had like half of the album, I saw there was a story going on. So
Right.
then I like decided to complete it as a story. The album only has 12 songs. I made a whole bunch of songs, and then I still have songs that I have to release, but I wanted to keep it a concept and a story, and everything goes together, and even the live show goes with the album and shares a story too, so
I
I'm excited.
appreciate that. It's art, brother.
Yeah,
Reminds me of like Good Kid, Mad City from Kendrick Lamar. It's a story from beginning to end.
yeah, it is. No, it's fucking great album.
Yeah, and
The Kendrick Lamar album, I love my album too. I
okay.
love Kendrick Lamar too, so
That's right, bro. That's a classic, man. And I want to ask you about your well, before first let's still talk about your album here. You know, I like the videos. They seem really deep and stuff. And when I saw the video for, let me make sure I got the right. Tengo una nota.
hmm.
Like that's your first song on the album. So when I'm
Yes.
watching the video, the mask kind of disturbed me a little bit. Honestly, I'm like, damn, that's a little scary. I don't want to wake up to that. But when I'm watching the video, I was thinking like, is this like a metaphor, like when you're first into a relationship and you got your mask on? Because that's what I thought. Because we're not real when we first start dating, right? And it's like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna put on my best behavior, and we're not gonna fight. Oh my God, I love this song too. I love this food, whatever it is. But that's kind of what I got from that video. Is that what you're trying to push and stuff?
Yeah, it has a little bit of everything, that video. It's very simple. The artist who made those masks actually inspired that idea. She's a Chilean artist, and we went to the mountains of Chile to record some visuals for Top. That was the first single, and then we met her, and she showed us her art, and her whole house was based on masks, and her patio too. She made a lot of art, and we were like, ah, this is perfect for Tengo una nota, because Tengo una nota is a song that represents puppy love, like that love that you're just blind. No one can say anything
Fine.
to you because you know that you're gonna be. And it does have two reasons of the mask. One is because I start rapping the song, and suddenly I have a mask on, and it's like you're in English. Tengo una nota means I have a buzz. So the mask represents that buzz that you have while you're in love. That it's maybe not you. It could be someone else, or you could be somebody else, or maybe that is the new you, and it's gonna last forever, but it usually doesn't. Pero sí, tengo
Yeah.
una nota. I think different people see it as como que you could get different messages from seeing it.
I love that, man. It just gets deeper, because I'm a DJ, so I'm always getting called up for parties. So sometimes I get caught up in just the beat. I'm like, can this make people dance? They make people get
Mhm.
drunk and all that stuff. But I do love my lyrical hip hop, and it's like poetry. It's deep. As you can see, I'm a hip hop head over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
can
love
see.
hip hop.
Yeah, I come from hip hop. I started improvising when I was like 15.
Oh,
Um, and my career like started getting bigger and all my beats were like stolen from YouTube because I was studying medicine. But I was a hip hop head. I was like, Nas type beat, JC type beat, Outkast type beat.
okay.
Uh, Kendrick Lamar, Mac Miller, J. Cole, uh, Ludacris. I am a huge Ludacris fan, but I started listening to that type of music, and I just used to write to beats, and then I met more musicians. I also play guitar, so now I play with a band,
Okay.
and we just dive into different genres because we like to fuse to play with everything and to have like a fusion, but the basis of everything comes from rap and hip hop.
And that's why I love hip hop, because hip hop, first thing I heard about it, when I first heard it when I was a kid, was they incorporated rock guitars into that. I didn't like rock music at the time. When I heard that, then I started exploring rock music and Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith and stuff like that. And that's what I like about your album too, man, because you got reggaeton in there, you got Latin trap, I hear Latin pop, I hear Afro beats. I don't know if I'm wrong in that. I thought I heard
Sí,
some
sí,
Afro
we have
beats in there.
Afrobeat, funk brasileiro, we have a salsa with bomba,
Salsa, yeah.
we have drum and bass.
Yes, I was gonna ask you about that. Two drum and bass records I heard on there.
Yeah.
Because I just started getting into that genre myself, and I'm like, oh damn, I love it.
See, and it's not like a porque it's drum and bass, but it's not. It's heavy, but it's not like like death, because there's now like a death drum and bass that's even more
Yeah.
that you don't understand. You know that was that the first drum and bass was actually a mistake. Like we were recording, and the beat the drum looped itself twice, so it went double the speed, and we were like, holy shit, that sounds fire, let's do that.
Oh man,
And then that's how the drum and bass part came.
you're
And
kidding.
then I was listening to a couple of Spanish artists who are doing like house, and we listened to a couple of tracks that weren't exactly drum and bass but had that spirit, and we're like, we could do something like this. We like those artists, and it just started, and it was inspired in some Spanish like house DJs basically.
It's dope, man. And that's what I love Latin music right now. I just feel like it's at the cusp of blowing up everywhere. And like I'm not even saying like taking over the world, just it's all the sounds that they're bringing in. To me, it's the spirit of hip hop right now as far as Latin music goes. And your album really represents that. And I was gonna ask you about your producer, David B. Like you said you went that you knew he was going through some stuff because it seems like you're really close to make an album like that.
Yeah, yeah. See, David is my brother, man. He's my drummer too.
Okay.
So he's been touring with me for like 5 years. And David used to have a 9 to 5, and after the pandemic, he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to produce. So he started producing. He signed with Rimas, and he started producing with me, and suddenly with other artists. He's collabed with Mike Towers and other rap artists. But this album, it was basically me and him coming to the studio and musicians. Uh, like we have Benson Pagan is a guitarist. He's in like 4 or 5 songs. We have Charlie Sepúlveda, who is a jazz trump. He plays the trumpet. He's a jazz legend. He used to play con La Fania. Uh, so he's been playing, he's got Latin and Grammys. He played in 2 songs. Messi de Prat played bass in a couple songs. We recorded some violins and some cellos for some song. So we like develop it, and then we just bring ideas and try to bring live musicians to the songs too, because I think that's very it gives it another mood, and that human touch is always beautiful.
Yeah, I recently heard a quote from Clark Kent. He just recently passed away, a producer for Biggie and stuff. And he was saying one of the things he liked about Biggie is that when he gave him beats, he didn't write verses, he wrote songs. And that's kind of what I feel like what you do, bro. Because there's a lot of rappers out there, and it's just, you hear it, the song is dope, but when you start to the lyrics, I'm like, why do I like this? You know, it's like he's literally not saying nothing, you know.
I
But
try to
yeah,
write stories. I like writing stories. I'm a big like I'm a huge fan of like lyrical rappers. I also like just music just to listen to it, but my favorite artists are always gonna tell me something, or I'm gonna learn something, or I'm gonna question something. And I try to do that with my music. That's why I also have uh I always say that I try to be like a newspaper, that you have like the sports section, you have the section where you're selling the commercials, you talk about what's happening in the society, you have the little jokes and comics section. But in music I try to do that. I always write what I'm feeling, and I'm not always happy. I'm not always uh going out to drink and smoke. I do it too, so I'll talk about that in some songs, but I also talk about social issues and Puerto Rico and Latin America, and I talk about love, and I talk about falling out of love because it's happened to all of us. But I try to talk about every subject I can.
yeah, man. And it's a good segue because I was just gonna about to ask you about your next single, your last single that you just released. It's La Hora. And
Sí.
what I gotta ask you, man, what inspired, because that's not on your album. So
Yeah,
did
I
something
dropped
recently
it.
happen and you're just like, I gotta write this and
Yeah.
yeah,
I dropped an album a month ago, and probably people were like, "Mira, you shouldn't drop a release. You have like 12 new songs." But I've been writing for the last like 2 weeks. Um, right now, Puerto Rico, we vote next week, and Puerto Rico has had the same government, the two political parties for the last 75 years, and we have a lot of corruption happening in Puerto Rico, and we need a change. And also, there was with the United States election, we could see like yesterday they were making fun of Puerto Rican being a garbage island, and we have a lot of dense history. And I wrote the song to inspire other artists to talk about what's happening in their own uh, countries, and also to inspire a conversation, because a lot of the older generation in Puerto Rico, they'll say like, ah, you don't talk about politics. And I think that that's bullshit. Like, if something affects you for your whole life, you should be able to talk about it with your grandparents and your parents and your friends. And the song is about that. It's about talking about social injustices,
injustice. You got it, brother. Yeah.
and also talking about the past and the present and the future, and what do you see and what change do you want to achieve. And I wrote Es la hora, that talks about la hora is it's time for change, it's time to have deep conversations, it's time for more love and more empathy. And people are using it here in their everyday life, so I think it's nah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I heard it on YouTube and I was looking at the comments and it was just one positive comment after another. You people putting crying emojis, so it really hit them hard, you know, because yeah, I'm living in Los Angeles, so I see the news around what I see, CNN, MSNBC, whatever it is, Fox, and Puerto Rico never comes up unless it's in a negative manner.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's not, we don't hear about it at all. We don't know what's going on, you know? So I appreciate artists like you, like letting us know, because that's hip hop right there. It reminds me of, when I heard your record, it reminded me of Ice Cube. When he was talking about Compton back in the days and South Central and everything. And when the news would just kind of just not even talk about it. So is that, I was gonna ask you what inspired you like to just say, you know what, I'm gonna get on the mic and just go for it.
Eh, Man, en verdad, I write about what I'm living,
Yeah.
and the song, people love it because they feel identified. Because in the song I talk about the exodus of Puerto Ricans. Like, in a part I say I want my WhatsApp group to live in Puerto Rico, because I have a group of like people who went to high school with me, and out of 50, probably 10 live in Puerto Rico. The rest are not
Wow.
here because of lack of opportunities. Right now in Puerto Rico, we have a education, health, and transportation crisis. And even though we do get some federal aid because we are a colony of the United States,
Truth
It's
right there.
it's complicated, our relationship, because we don't get equal rights, we don't get treated the same, and it's time for change. So I'm just speaking my truth, and when you speak your truth, if 100,000 or 1 million or 5 million people identify with it, they're gonna let you know. And I think that this song talked for a lot of people, because we're not alone. Sometimes we think we're alone. About being inspired to write, I always write. I have a at least once a year, or once every, I'd say once a year, something happens that's very, very personal, or that it touches me, that I always say in the songs. Somewhere I'm gonna say historia hecha canción, which means like a history made song, or a story made a song. And I've been doing it for the last like 6 years, where I drop a song about something that happened in real life, or is happening in real life. And right now it was Es la Hora. So I will always be talking about important things for me, and
Let
pero
me,
it's definitely inspired by other hip hop artists too.
well, it's deep, man. And I want to ask you, someone that does not know about what's going on in Puerto Rico, and I'm still trying to just get information to find out how I can best support you, and how my listeners can support what's going on there. So what's like, say, I don't say just one thing, but if you can tell us, how can we do that, and those of us that live in the United States, what can we do?
I think it's more to study what you're doing, what you're saying, just talking with Puerto Ricans, studying what is the history of Puerto Rico with the United States, and what is happening right now. Um, it is a very complicated, and it's a long background, because okay, it could be long, uh, because right now even the government gave incentives for people who have a lot of money to move to Puerto Rico, and they don't have to pay taxes.
Mm.
So right now there's parts of Puerto Rico that people don't even speak Spanish, because it's people with money just moving to Puerto Rico, but they're not engaged in the culture, they're not engaged in the language, and everything's going up, because now the economy here, even though there's an economic crisis, all the apartments have gone up, all the food is it's more expensive, because a lot of people with money are coming here, and they could pay you more for the house. So that's what they did. So everything changed. And you go to the center of the island, and it's a different vibe, different people, a lot of older population, because the younger population of Puerto Ricans couldn't pay that apartment, or they had to move to the United States to get uh, more opportunities. But I think that everything starts with education. So just educating yourself about what is happening to Puerto Ricans, talking with Puerto Ricans to see how they feel. And I think that's where it all starts. Then you
Okay.
can find like a cause, because there's always different causes, being education or health, or we even have a problem with animals in the street. Like there's a whole bunch of dogs
Right.
in the street. So that's another cause, and just finding your cause. And if you can help out, uh, that'd be great too.
Well, I appreciate you letting us know, because like I said, the news does not do a good job in letting us know what happens there. It's almost like it's forgotten. And I like how you refer to it as a colony, because that's what it seems like, how we're treating it, as a colony, not as a U.S.
Oh, it is
territory.
we are a United
Is
States
that what
colony
it is? Right.
since 1898. We are
I didn't know
the
that.
longest living colony, basically.
I did not
We're
know
a
that.
colony since 1898. We have a American passport, a U.S. passport. We
Wow.
were given a passport in April 1917, 19 years after we were colonized by the United States, that they entered Puerto Rico bombing to Guanica, because they beat Spain in the Spanish-American War. And then we got our passport in 1917 in April, and then in May, 1 month later, it was obligatory to go into the First World War draft. And more Puerto Ricans went to the First World War than any by population than any people in any state. So we were basically given a passport so that we could go to war, and we have represented as in the Korean War, in Afghanistan, World War II, Iraq, everywhere. but we don't get the same rights. So we don't vote for the president. And most of our veterans move to Atlanta or to Orlando because their healthcare pays more in the United States than in Puerto Rico. So after they go to war, they can't come back to their country because the healthcare isn't the same. So we do have a long and deep history as a United States colony.
Man, you like the Puerto Rican CNN over here. You're schooling me
Ah,
today, brother. Thank you, man. And I also want to mention that you are Doctor Vasquez,
sí,
and
sí,
you are a
I'm a
doctor.
doctor. So that's my passion. I'm a history buff in general, but my passion is health, and I work as a doctor. I work with a nonprofit called Direct Relief, and I do free clinics in Puerto Rico twice a month, and that's the other days I'm in the studio making music, but I also keep my a little bit of my medical side alive.
Yeah, I mean, just for anyone questioning, whether you know what's going on, you're right there. You're with the people, and so you know what's happening and going on. And I'm just wondering how you balance that with your doctor life and your hip hop life. Like what is your side hustle? Is it being a rapper your side hustle, or is it being a doctor your side hustle?
It's being a doctor, definitely. It's
Yeah.
being a doctor because I tour. I just had a 10-date tour in the United States. We went from Boston to Miami. We went through
Oh,
New York, DC, Philly, Atlanta, Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Dallas, Los
oh,
Angeles. We went to Santiago, Chile. We went to Bogotá, Colombia, and we presented the new album. And I write all the lyrics. I also work in every aspect of my career. I love the music business in general. So I do that. And literally my side hustle is being a doctor. But
that's crazy.
but but yeah, see, it's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, I would say it's crazy. I mean, I work in a library. That's my day. That's my day job right there. I'm a library manager, and then I do this at night on weekends, bro. So
You read a lot? You like reading?
I actually, what's funny? I don't like to read a lot. I don't.
No.
No, but I do listen to a lot of audiobooks. Yeah.
No, and sometimes I have vinyls in the libraries too, right? I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
do. We got a vinyl collection, CD collection. We got
I
NWA.
gotta send you the new one because
Yeah,
this is gonna be my first vinyl, my album. I
dude.
have it. Oh yeah, if someone wants to buy it, it's in my website pjsinsuela.com. I have the pre-sale because it takes like 4 months or something like that to get it done. But I ordered it in September when the album dropped. So I'm hoping it gets here by Christmas so that I could send it out to everybody.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
but
Dude,
I
let me know. I'm gonna put you on my wall right here, bro.
yeah.
Like, hell yeah. I love that album. I gotta stop crying when I hear it. I can't listen to it in public, man, because it starts hitting me. I'm going through some stuff right now, so I definitely feel it, and I think it'll help a lot of people because it
Hopefully,
kind of
man.
just makes us look at our relationships, and going, okay, I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy, it's just part of being life and a human being. And like you said, it's ups and downs in the relationships and good and bad, but
Yeah.
we got to look at everything about it, right?
See,
Yeah,
when it's bad, you're learning,
there you
and
go, man.
it makes the good parts even better because you appreciate it more.
That's right, brother. I'm gonna ask you a DJ question now. Kind of just go left, right, okay? Because I'm a DJ and I make remixes, I make bootlegs, but sometimes we can't get in contact with record labels, management, stuff like that. So I wanted to know because we got about let's see, 10 minutes left, right? Okay. So make sure, I wonder what you think about that. Like us DJs kind of like remixing your records because now the technology is where we can just strip your vocals out, put another
And just
beat on it,
I love
mashups.
it. I
Good.
love
I'm
it.
getting you on record for that, bro.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. No,
sometimes we
I
get these
love it.
seasons. Yeah.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
super cool. I don't mind.
Oh,
It happens with some of my songs, and they tag me, and I always listen to them. Obviously, if you're gonna distribute it through like DSPs, then I'm like, oh, but hit me up,
it's different
cause
here.
that's different. But playing it live, I think it's super cool. My friends and who are also DJs, they're always doing that. Like, I'm gonna do this reggaeton into a house, or I'm gonna trap
Yeah.
this out, and I think it's fire and makes it fun. So
Yeah, 'cause I want to do some mashups on your records. Like mix them with some Nas, some Mobb Deep, some classic hip hop beats. I think it'll go really well with that. So stay tuned,
yeah,
all right?
I gotta yeah, send it over.
All right, my brother. Appreciate you. And you mentioned tour life and stuff. Just on a lighter note, like what did you learn about it? Anything funny happen? Any kind of weird thing happen when you're on the road?
Always something happens. We drove from Boston to Miami. So there's a couple stories. We were seven in the tour. So we have Rafita's like my hype man, and he's always up to something. In tour, what happened that we loved? I can go from place to place to see. New York was the first show. It was dope. We ended up partying in the after party was in Toñitas. And Toñitas is like a classic Brooklyn spot that the
Oh,
owner is like a 80-year-old and she's the bartender too. And they have a billar and it feels like you're in Puerto Rico in the middle of
yo,
Brooklyn. So we went there. One day our tire uh like broke, so we had to stop, change the tire.
tour
That
life,
happened.
bro. That's tour life,
Like,
huh?
Philly was dope too. Tampa, everybody was like drunk in Tampa. I don't know what happened in Tampa that everybody like I'm not talking about the band, I'm talking like the
Yeah.
public. So every song someone tried to get on stage
Oh
and
man.
sing or dance, which I don't mind. I love it. So it was fun. The last show in Los Angeles was special because it is in LA. And then we went out uh to an after party because Residente was also having a concert. So that was pretty fun. There were a couple of artists over there. ¿Qué más? Chile, we had an asado the day of
Oh
the
wow.
concert. We invited a couple of friends over in Santiago and we bought a whole bunch of different meats and potatoes and veggies. And we did a whole barbecue and we did music as well. So we're basically at night singing, and during the day we're like traveling. And if we have a free day, we're making music.
Sounds
So
fun.
it's fun.
Sounds fun, man. You should do a contest to bring a fan along. I'd love to go.
That'd be sweet, actually. For my Puerto Rico concert, I have a concert in Puerto Rico the 16th of November. It's in El
Right.
Anfiteatro Tito Puentes. It's a 5,000 people venue, and I'm actually bringing two fans from Spain.
Oh, that's dope.
Because they always write to me like, "When are you coming to Spain? When are you coming?" And even though a couple of people do it, they're like super fans, and they're sisters. And I was like, I'm gonna go next year. That was last year, and I couldn't make it this year. I was like, I'm gonna bring you to Puerto Rico, and they're coming to Puerto Rico, which for me is like crazy because you're coming from all the way from Spain,
That's
which is
awesome.
like a 10-hour flight basically. So
And that's gonna be the end of your tour, like the pop off, right?
that's like
So
my
you're in
end
Puerto
and the
Rico, you gotta
beginning.
go.
It's
Okay.
like the end and the beginning because this tour that I made, I just dropped the album on September and I left. Let's do the tour. So I was presenting it. Like my
Oh,
first show was 2 days after I dropped the album.
oh
So
wow.
people were there and
They
a
want to hear your
couple
old
super
stuff,
fans.
right?
They knew the songs, but I was singing the whole new album. I was singing some old stuff, but I was presenting the album. So basically, I'm restructuring my show for the concert in Puerto Rico. And then next year, I want to go and present it when people already know the songs. And it's going to be another, it's another show totally. So I'm excited about that.
Well, I'm gonna be there, brother. You come back to LA for sure, bro.
I'll be back. I'll be back. We might be back to the Moroccan Lounge. We loved it. So
Yeah, man. And I gotta take you around, bro.
downtown.
I
Yeah.
gotta take you
No,
to my
LA was fun.
presidential lounge where
Cool.
we
No,
do a little. Yeah.
seguro.
You smoke? I don't know if
We
you
gotta
smoke,
go. Yeah,
but
yeah, smoke. It was fun. We
okay.
went to Venice Beach. We went to a Lakers game and we
All
saw
right.
Durant too, and the Lakers won. We were there Friday that the Dodgers won.
Oh,
So
you
that was
were?
so
Oh
Dodgers
shit.
won, the Lakers won, and we were in the Lakers game. And then the
Dope.
next day we went to the YouTube theater. We went to Venice Beach. We went to Santa Monica Pier, which was
Yo,
great. It was fun.
I gotta take you to the cannabis cafe, my brother. All
Yeah,
right? That's right.
oh,
You can eat and smoke at the same time. Okay.
beautiful. Great.
All right, PJ. Well, I had you on longer than I expected, but I
Appreciate
appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for staying on
Hopefully
with me here.
we'll see each other in person and we'll talk.
Yes, sir, my brother. Is there anything you want to leave with the listeners before
Appreciate
we
that.
go?
No, no, oye, gracias, gracias. If you know Spanish,
In
gracias, te quiero
Spanish.
mucho. If you don't, Hey, I'm PJ Sin Suela. I'm a rapper from Puerto Rico. I just dropped an album. You're gonna love it. Toda Época tiene su encanto. It has some bilingual stuff,
It
so
does.
like it. And I really appreciate the time, bro. So we'll see each other soon.
Yeah, and I just want to tell you, hip hop heads out there, listen to the album, listen to it because he throws in references from Outkast. I heard that forever, ever, forever, ever. I got that, bro. I was like, oh shit, okay, love it. So thank
You
you
know,
again.
Outkast is definitely one of my biggest influences. So
Is it? That's
yeah,
my favorite group of all time is Outkast, brother.
¿verdad?
Yep. So if they when they play
Bro,
Coachella, I expect you to be there performing, and then we're gonna go see them.
that'd
Okay.
be sweet if I hopefully they come back and start doing shows.
I
I know
hope.
Andre 3000 with this flute thing, but I started listening to them como after the hype because I started listening to hip hop. Like I got really into Ludacris, and with Ludacris I started listening to Outkast because I was like, I want to listen to more Atlanta like rap, and that's where I started being like a huge fan of Outkast. So it was after. Obvi- Obviously, I had heard to hey,
Yeah.
like that,
The hits, huh?
uh, like their singles, like Miss Jackson stuff. But then I got really into like the whole album and listening to each one, and that was sweet.
Well, I gotta tell you, man, the producers are amazing. They're called Organized Noise. I don't know if you know, but look at everything they did. They work with Goody Mob, Outkast. They had a whole thing going on there. So it's a dope sound. But so do you. And David B, big shout out to David B. Your producer, amazing beats. Loved all the how he incorporated everything. And yeah, brother, thank you again for being on El Sabor
Bro,
Latin Music Podcast,
hit
my
it, man.
brother. I appreciate you, man. You take care,
Peace.
okay?
Have a
Peace.
great day.